My book, The Mosaic Principle, is about why we need more people with broad experience in leadership roles and in society, and how to build that kind of a multidimensional life. In the book, I've drawn upon my 35 years of experience working business and government leaders and in the non-profit sector to understand what it takes to build a really successful and broad-ranging life. And what I've observed is a number of common features of people who do this. I've also observed how important it is, given the complexity of our modern world, multidimensional challenges that we face, to have people in it with that kind of experience. But I am concerned is that we've gone down a road of increased specialization. We've got so many complex multidimensional challenges. We need people with the breadth of experience to tackle them. We've gone down a path of more and deeper specialization. It's becoming very difficult to be a generalist in the professional world, and people are being asked to choose a specialty very early and stick with it often for a whole life. And I think that's a shame. The 10,000 hour rule that Malcolm Gladwell propounded is true. It does take a lot of time to develop a real specialist capability, but it's not enough. It takes a long time to get to be a real expert, to get to be highly proficient in an area. But I think we've gone too far with that, and I think the problem about that is we lose touch with each other. We operate in our independent silos. I see situations where the specialists have really taken over, and that creates real challenges. I think the financial crisis of 2008 was a good example of that. I think some of the companies that have run into difficulty, from Enron to Wells Fargo, when the specialists are too strong and there isn't that breadth of perspective and experience. I use the metaphor of the mosaic because it's really the most colourful artistic image that we have. I really wanted to explore how can you live your life as a mosaic and draw in these different dimensions and make it unified. I think it's a terrific metaphor for a broad, multidimensional, multicolored, fully lived life. I interviewed more than 200 people who've built broad lives and have far-reaching perspective, and I found that they had developed a set of coping skills, a set of ways of dealing with the complexity of a broad multidimensional life. And those 6 dimensions of the Mosaic Principle are as follows. First of all, they have a strong moral compass. They are able to navigate different arenas with different motivations, but to retain and maintain clear purpose. Secondly, they have an intellectual thread. They have an area of expertise and focus that they're able to stretch across different walks of life. Thirdly, they have a clear set of transferable skills, a common foundation of skills that are relevant to different sectors. Fourthly, they have contextual intelligence. They really understand the differences and similarities between different contexts, and they can adapt to them and operate effectively according to the circumstances in which they're operating. Fifthly, they have extended networks. They are able to build relationships in different arenas, different walks of life, and to stretch those relationships across those different parts of their life. And finally, they have a prepared mind. They are really ready for opportunity when it presents itself, and they respond quickly when they're able to do something different and something new. In my view, the most important model for success in today's world is the T-shaped approach. And the essence of the T-shaped approach is that you should both have an area of expertise, that's the vertical stroke of the T, and a breadth of perspective, that's the horizontal stroke of the T. The most successful, most fulfilled people that I have worked with and that I've interviewed for this book are people who in their different ways have embodied the T-shaped concept. Louis Pasteur said, in the field of human observation, chance favors the prepared mind. And what he was getting at was that we can't all predict what's going to happen in our lives, and we can't prepare for everything. But we can at least get our minds ready for opportunity when it presents itself, and indeed for challenge when it presents itself. We can think enough ahead so that we know roughly how we'll respond, that it doesn't take us completely by surprise. And that's why I think the prepared mind is a very common feature of people who build broad and multidimensional lives. In the book, I actually lay out 20 questions, a sort of self-assessment, and I think if you ask those questions of yourself, you'll get a sense of what your aspirations are and where you stand today. And then I think you can take corrective action. We can start to think about making adjustments in our life. For instance, taking on voluntary activities that broaden us, maybe making a career switch, learning a new skill. Those are the kinds of things that we have within our power to do. Employers and the people who are making decisions about people, they need to be broad-minded too. They need to look for people with broader experience, not always go down the safe and tested route of the specialist that in one sense is a sure bet, but in another sense lacks that broader perspective. There is a website which I've developed, has a lot more information about the book, about the people in the book, and articles and essays that I've written on related themes, and importantly a self-assessment test that allows each person to understand where they sit on the spectrum between depth and breadth, and on each of the 6 dimensions of a rich and remarkable career. So the book is now available in all good bookstores and at Amazon and other online outlets.